Okay, so you send over some really interesting stuff this week. It's all about Anglo American and their plan to uh, unbundle their big platinum arm, Anglo American Platinum.
About Amplats, right?
Amplats, yeah. And we're using a recent business tech piece to sort of walk us through it.
Sounds good.
But, to really get why this is such a big deal now, you kind of have to look back a bit.
Okay.
Anglo American's been a huge name in South African platinum for, well, ages. Remember their stake in JCI, Johannesburg Consolidated Investments?
Vaguely.
That eventually led to Amplats being formed back in 1995. And, they've already stepped away from South African coal not too long ago.
Right, I remember that. So this feels like part of a pattern.
Exactly. It seems like part of a bigger picture. So I guess our mission today is to figure out, why this move, why now, and what does it really mean for platinum and for South Africa itself?
Makes sense. So the why now? The article we looked at really hammers home this idea of a, quote, troubled platinum group metals environment.
Troubled is probably putting it mildly. Yeah, it mentions specifically declining prices for PGMs. Seems like that's really hitting the bottom line hard.
Absolutely. And you layer on top of that just the general sort of global economic slowdown. Well, that naturally dampens demand for these metals, and the prices follow.
So it's a tough climate out there for them.
For sure. And Amplats, they've definitely felt it. Remember back in July 2024, they had that big retrenchment process?
Oh, yeah, that affected quite a few people, didn't it?
Around 3,700 jobs, roughly. And, it wasn't just them. Sibanye-Stillwater, Impala Platinum, they also announced major job cuts around then. It shows just how severe these price issues have been across the board.
So linking that back,
Yeah.
this unbundling, it's not happening in a vacuum. It's part of this wider restructuring at Anglo American.
Exactly right. They've been looking closely at their assets, deciding what fits their future strategy. You might even remember that potential offer from BHP.
Right, the takeover bid that didn't quite go all the way as planned.
Yeah. While that specific deal changed shape, it kind of highlighted this move towards a more, let's say, streamlined Anglo-American. But it's important to note, this isn't a total exit from South Africa yet.
Ah, okay. How so?
Well, they're holding on to Kumba iron ore, for instance. So platinum, yes, but not completely out of the country.
Gotcha. Okay, this is where I think it gets really interesting looking ahead. The article brings up electric vehicles.
Ah, the EV elephant in the room.
Right, because unlike petrol or diesel cars, EVs don't need platinum and catalytic converters for emissions, which has been like a huge demand driver historically.
Precisely. That's a fundamental shift.
So what does that mean for platinum long term?
Well, that is the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you consider South Africa holds something like, what is it, 80% of the world's platinum reserves.
Wow, 80%.
Yeah. So if that core automotive demand starts to seriously decline because of EVs, well, the implications for the South African industry are massive. It really makes you wonder how a country so dependent on this one resource adapts.
And it's not just the global demand picture either. The article mentions some domestic challenges too, things within South Africa impacting the miner.
Oh, definitely. Like the ongoing electricity shortages, that's a big one.
Yeah, and general infrastructure problems too, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Those kinds of local issues just add another layer of cost and complexity to the mining operations there, squeezing margins that are already, frankly, under pressure from lower prices.
So it's a bit of a perfect storm then. Global price issues, shifting demand, and local operational headaches.
You could definitely see it that way. It provides a lot of context for Anglo's decision.
Yeah, it really does.
Yes.
Okay, so the practicalities. What's the timeline? When is this actually happening?
The plan, according to the article, is to have the demerger done by June 2025. So pretty soon.
And Anglo keeps the stake? Or they're completely out?
Initially, they'll hang on to a minority shareholding, about 19.9%, I think it said.
Okay.
But the clear intention stated publicly is to sell that off too,
Yeah.
eventually, to exit fully over time.
Right. It's interesting. Amplats' own CEO, Craig Miller, seems to be framing it quite positively.
Yeah, I saw that quote. He talks about creating a more focused, competitive, and independent business.
And having an industry-leading mineral endowment. Sounds like he sees potential for Amplats to stand on its own 2 feet.
Well, you'd expect him to put a positive spin on it, naturally. But yeah, his view is that this focus will actually make them stronger and more adaptable.
So wrapping this up then, the main takeaway really seems to be that Anglo American is taking a significant step back from South African platinum, largely because of, well, intense economic pressures right now and some pretty big question marks about the future of the PGM market.
Yeah, that sums it up well. It's a strategic shift driven by a whole mix of current realities and future uncertainties. It really highlights how linked everything is: global markets, tech changes like EVs, and the specific challenges within a region.
Definitely. Okay, so here's a final thought to leave everyone with. South Africa has this incredible dominance in platinum reserves, right?
Mm,
But we've just talked about all these challenges: EVs, local issues, price pressures.
yeah.
So what new, maybe completely unexpected, uses for platinum could emerge? What kind of innovation might actually revitalize the industry, given these changing global demands? Could there be something totally new on the horizon for platinum?
Hmm. That's a really interesting question to ponder, actually. What else could it be used for on a large scale? Food for thought.